From Denver's 7, this is 7 News.
Welcome back. So far, we've had relatively mild temperatures, but that doesn't mean a freeze isn't right around the corner. In fact, it was last year on October 10th that overnight temperatures dropped to 16 degrees, and it's estimated about 20% of the sprinkler systems along the Front Range were damaged during that time. So today, we're going to talk about taking some preventative measures, what you can do now to help prepare for that upcoming cold weather. And joining us this morning is Steve Coughran from Associated Landscape Contractors of Colorado. Thanks so much for coming on in.
Yeah, you bet.
So let's walk people through what they need to do to winterize their sprinkler system. Is this something you can do yourself?
Well, to be honest, I'd say that sprinkler winterization is best left to the professionals, and here's why. Two reasons. First of all, most homeowners don't have the right compressor that they need, the right size to push all the water outside the system. Second, most compressors don't have regulators, and too high a pressure can damage sensitive components inside the system.
All right, so leave it to the professionals if you have a professional system. If you're just dragging hose, you're just basically turning off the water and draining it all out.
That's right.
But if you do have to go about winterizing, what parts of the sprinkler system do you need to take extra care to prevent from freezing?
Okay, well, I brought some props. This right here is a backflow preventer. A lot of people call it the bell cap or the USO, the unidentified standing object in the yard. This is brass. It may look like it's really durable, but when water gets in here and freezes, it breaks this component very easily. Also inside, there's a plastic part. This easily breaks when it freezes, sending water all over the outside, and it could cause flood damage or water damage, which we don't want.
Well, not to mention just the cost of having to replace some of this equipment then down the road to get it working again. So what can we do if we don't have time to get the sprinklers blown out before the first freeze happens? Are there some preventative measures we can put into place?
There are. And I would say first, try to schedule your appointment if you're going to hire a professional to get this blown out.
Okay.
In the meantime, while you're waiting for your appointment, what I'd say, get some insulation. Here's just a piece of insulation.
Okay.
You can get an old blanket if you don't have insulation. Put this around the backflow preventer outside the house and just wrap it up inside. And then take some duct tape, secure it around, put a black trash bag on top. That'll prevent the insulation or the blanket from getting wet and freezing. So that's what you could do in the meantime.
Okay, easy enough. And if we do have a freeze warning, I know we almost had one last week. In fact, you haven't done all of this just yet. We can at least get started on the process of what you just showed us. But should you turn the water off as well?
Absolutely. And I brought two different types of valves. So most people have their main shutoff valve inside the basement. If it's not inside the basement, it's going to be outside. You have that 6-foot black key that goes in the ground and shuts it off.
Okay,
but inside the house, you have two valves. It could either be a ball valve like this, and when it's off, the handle is going to be perpendicular to the pipe like that. It will make a 90-degree angle.
Okay.
The second kind of valve is a gate valve, and it looks like this, and it has a round handle. So righty-tighty is going to shut the water off.
Okay.
And
just like you would expect then, the lefty-loosey, righty-tighty.
Exactly.
I got to remember those old sayings.
And there's little drain valves on these valves that can be opened up, and if you put a bucket underneath, you can drain the water outside the system in the meantime.
And that's important, right? Because the water inside is what expands, so you have to drain it.
That's right.
Okay.
That's exactly right. Now, you want to be careful with these gate valves because they do have a rubber component inside. So even if the handle's all the way cranked down, the rubber component could wear out and water could still pass through, causing water to pass through the system and freeze and crack. Right. So you want to just be careful of these gate valves.
Just a heads up there. Well, thank you so much for that important information, Steve Coughran.
You're welcome.
We really appreciate it. If you would like more information, you can log on to thedenverchannel.com, click on that big red TV button, and we'll hook you up with all the links that you need.